Hey guys, Mel the Train Tutor here again with another foam board tutorial for you. The house is still ongoing and so there's plenty of these to come. And what I wanted to do in this tutorial was look at how to disguise corners and joins. Okay, now when we build out a foam board, what we often get is this, the 5mm. Yeah, of the foam showing on the corners, and that's simply because obviously we join them together and there's a side showing, and that's sort of a telltale giveaway when you painted them up that this is a foam board building. Okay, and so generally for better looking buildings you can look at disguising it. Now there's a few different ways of doing that. Okay, and what I want to do is just take you through the different ways. Yeah, some involve filler and cutting it in a certain way. Well, one does, and a few involve, various different technical cuts. But let's work our way through them. So the first one, that's obviously a basic join, yeah? And the big problem with this is whenever you dry brush it or paint it, you get this telltale line here, okay? And it just gives it away. So the idea is we want to disguise that with a flat covering. Yeah, and so let's quickly get a strip, and what I'll do is I'll show you a few different techniques. So here we've got a standard strip, okay, and I'm going to try my best using my lines to cut it straight and true. Let's cut it there. Okay, and what I'm going to do with this one is this is a full cut through, so it's two pieces. That'll become relevant a little bit later. Okay, so there you are, nice clean cut. Okay, and they would go together much like that. Yeah? Now what I'm going to do very quickly is, while it's on its side and it's still sort of untouched, I'm going to come along and I'm just going to cut a couple of mils off the bottom cardboard. Yeah, so there you have it. To give it that bevel effect. Yeah? There's a small bevel there. What this means now is if I line it up, engage the brain, that way, yeah. Right, if I line it up, that puzzled look, I wish you could have seen my face then. Yeah, what you've got now is a gap, a lip in between those two. You've made a trough. And the benefit of doing that is you can get filler and just scrape it across. And if you look at the sides, you'll see that it is that trough technique. And all I've done is literally just cut a couple of millimeters off the off the bottom bit so that I don't have a lip and I can just put a smooth layer of filler straight over the top. And it's really effective. This is good. I mean, it may sound like a lot of hassle to, oh God, you got to cut this bit off, then you got to get filler. But if you're making a lot of these, you're going to have a lot of these edges and you're going to be working with filler quite possibly anyway. Yeah, so it doesn't take long if you're mass producing to quickly cover edges this way. Yeah, it really doesn't. And it's a lot quicker, I found, than trying to do the more technical joins. Yeah, and talking about technical joins, we'll go on to those now. But that is a very basic way by using a little bit of a bevel, yeah, to hide a join. So that's the filler way. Let's move those over there. Right, the next one is a technique called rabbiting. Okay, and the basic idea is this is a rabbit. Okay, and as you can see, both sides of the cardboard run directly to each other, and then they're glued in the middle. So these are two separate pieces again. So get another strip. Once again with my wonderful cutting ability. Yeah, I'll cut all the way through it. So it's two separate pieces. Yeah, two separate pieces. Now what I'm going to do is I need to extend the cardboard on this. Yeah, 5mm to overlap the edge of the polystyrene on this, the edge of the foam. So what I'm going to do is very quickly just get a spare one. Come along and I'm going to line the spare one up with my joining edge. And then I'm going to get my ruler and line it straight up after it. So what I've got there is essentially a 5mm strip. Yeah, you see that nice and good? Let me move that up a bit so you can see a bit clearer. New camera angle, practicing guys. Yeah, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut first just through the top layer. Nice and gentle. I do not want to touch the bottom layer of cardboard. Now you can get tools to do this, but I don't see the point, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, they're too expensive. Yeah, and then once you've got that, what you need to do is watch your fingers, guys. Obviously this is sharp, and there's loads of different ways on an edge and all this sort of stuff of doing this, but the basic idea is you want to take away that bottom amount of foam. So I'm just cutting along the foam just above the cardboard. Yeah, I'm not trying to cut directly on top of the cardboard, just the foam just above it. Yeah, peel that away. So I'm going to have to cut it again. I have a feeling I may need to change this knife. Yeah, take that out. Yeah, and you're left with that. Now, as you can see, it's a bit, textury. There's still some foam left on there. So what we do is we get a ruler and we very gently scrape the foam off. Very gently, guys. You don't have to go mad. You don't have to get it perfectly clean. Yeah, you just have to take off the bulk. So what I'm doing is I'm just gently scraping it. You can see it coming off. There you go. There you are. See? Excess foam. And a couple of quick, nice, good scrapes. Yeah, and then what you're left with is that. Nice and clean with just the foam showing. Yeah. Okay, and what that enables us to do is very simply put these together like that. Yeah, and make a perfect rabbit join. Okay, and I think it was Sean Flynn who commented, who put me onto the name rabbiting, but I'd seen it before. But it's such an easy technique to do, you know, especially for small pieces. If you're doing lots of long edges, I'd probably look at a different technique. Okay, but that's rabbiting. Now, you turn around and say, yes, Mel, but what if you want to use a continuous piece? Well, I've got two options there, which just happens that I've got 2 bits of long foam board left. Hey, planning and prep, eh, lads and ladies? Keep doing that. So, if you've got, a continuous piece, yeah, you can do a continuous rabbit. Okay, and this is dead simple. All you're going to do is do the first one just like you did. So, put a cut in. Yeah, but this time, don't go all the way through. Yeah, so that's halfway through. Yeah, so that hasn't touched the other side at all. Yeah, it's just touched that side. Then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get my bit of foam board. I'm going to place it. In fact, I'll do it this way for the ruler's sake and for your sake. Hope you can see this. I'm going to place this, okay, on that line, and I'm going to make it so that my ruler sits up, and basically what I'm after is a foam board's width. So yeah, that. Then once again, I'm not cutting all the way through. I don't want to touch that bottom cardboard. Just want to cut through the foam. Yeah, check it again. Perfect. Yeah, and now what I want to do is just get a spare little bit of foam. Yeah, and what I can do is I can bend that around itself. A little bit fiddly. Yeah. So you see what I've done there. Basically, I've taken my piece, I've put one in the middle, and I've just folded it up like that, and that exposes that really nicely. Yeah. This one is really difficult to scrape with a ruler, so it's easier to do it this way. Okay, and then scrape any excess off with a blade. Push that up so I can actually get at it. Should have used a longer piece, but you get the idea. Scrape that off with a blade. That'll do. So there's the piece we took out of it. That'll be good in the floor. I'll save that. And that's what we're left with. Yeah, now as you can see underneath, not touched at all. Yeah, and what that lets us do is we can fold it in like that, and then we can glue it like that. Okay, and that is a continuous rabbit. Okay, i.e. the foam board will run continuously. There's no cuts in it at all. Yeah, so it's completely disguised, which is slightly better than a normal rabbit because there is a little join line. Now finally, there's one other technique I want to quickly show you, and that's called beveling. And I can't remember who put me onto this one. Yeah, but I've been messing around with it and it's not bad. Okay, now when it comes to beveling, okay, it's another continuous sheet one, i.e. I'm not going to cut all the way through. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is very quickly line it up. Okay, and just cut the top. Yeah, snap it back and fold it over itself. Yeah, and once it's folded over itself, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do essentially a 45-degree cut straight down there on both sides. Okay, so you can use little bits of metal and rulers as like little guides to make sure you don't cut too far and all that sort of stuff. Now the important thing is you can see over and you don't cut through the middle cardboard. Please don't cut through the middle cardboard at the end of the tutorial. I'll look a right muppet. Yeah, that's cool. That's a bit... I normally do it freehand anyway, but yeah, you can use guides. You watch me mess this up now doing it freehand. I'm not going to blame the blade. So that's one end beveled, yeah? Now if we come across and we do the other end. Like I say, the main thing is to get as much off without cutting in to that cardboard in the middle. And that's a far better bevel. And then the general idea is you turn them in on each other and there you go. Because it's a bevel, it's a 45-degree meet. Yeah. In fact, they are. That's one I did earlier. Yeah, and it's a really nice... Right, too many things. Right. That's how it goes. Okay, and that's a finished piece. Yeah, and as you can see, that the line is perfect. It's really nice. Yeah, obviously sometimes it needs reinforcing. Obviously you'll get glue spills, so they'll need to be cleaned up when you do that, but that's the same with any joint, to be truthful. That's the continuous rabbit that we did. Yeah, and as you can see, that's really nice and clean as well. And I've shown you the filler and the basic joints, haven't I? So guys, all of these wonderful things, yeah, these are all basic ways of hiding the joins or the corners on your buildings, okay, and hiding this foam, whether you do it off a single sheet using filler or a rabbiting technique, or you use the continuous sheet and then you use the bevel or the continuous rabbit. Yeah, they work wonders. And as you can see, I'm just going to bring this off. I'm not sure how good it'll look on camera. Let me just bring the camera up just a little, guys. There you go. And as you can see, yeah, I've used the bevel technique on this one to completely hide that corner there on part of this build. Yeah. So there you have it, guys. I hope you liked it. If you did, then throw a like on. In the meantime, what you call it? If you're into terrain and all that sort of stuff, subscribe to the channel. Always leave your comments. If you've got other ideas of how to do this or I've missed something, throw it in the comments, guys. Or if you've got any questions, fire them in the comments. I always answer my comments. And in the meantime, guys, I'm going to get cracked on. I'll see you soon. All right? You have a good day. Ta-ra.